man, the man, the myth, the legend, Smiling Sam. How's it going?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing, sir?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thanks for taking the time. I always appreciate
Oh, it is my pleasure. I love doing these.
it. So, first question I had for you is, how's your 2021 going so far?
So far, so good. No injuries. Knock on wood, and life's good. I spent first half of 2021 in Tennessee, and just happy to be home, back to work.
Gotcha. So I gotta ask, how was the Capitol?
Oh, it was bigger than I thought. It was bigger than I thought. Less protected than I thought too.
I saw that your doppelganger was trying to sell the podium for $100,000. What was your reaction to that being sold?
I don't think it was sold.
Oh,
From what I heard is it was just on the other side of the building. Like he didn't get out of the building with it. But
oh yeah.
it was still pretty funny.
Mhm. So, like, moving away from the Capitol, let's say, hypothetically, you were arrested for something. What would Sam Alvey be arrested for, and would you be smiling in the mugshot?
You know what? I've thought about that mugshot question. I don't think so, because every time there's no good way to take a good mugshot, but every time you see someone smiling, it's creepy. And they would, oh man, that'd be bad. But what would I go to jail for? You know what it'd be? Having guns out in public. Ugh.
Nice, nice. I think your guns would probably be okay down here in Texas, but yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Who do you think has the best mugshot in MMA? Like Connor had a cool one a couple of years ago. It's kind of iconic. But who has the best mugshot in MMA right now?
Who's that boy that just stabbed his sisters earlier this
Oh,
week?
yeah, Erwin
Yeah.
Rivera. Yeah,
He's probably got a good one.
gotcha, gotcha. And looking at your record, you've been on an unfortunate kind of turn of events, and your last fight was a, a draw. Have you rewatched that fight, and what
Yeah.
was your reaction to the judge's
I,
decision?
I have won my last two fights. I don't care what the judges say, but that last one that's an embarrassment for judges. There was no thought behind the judging. I was done wrong, but that's okay. I should have finished them, and I'll make sure whenever I get my next one, I finish them.
hmm And I believe your second to last fight against Ryan Spann, that was a war back and forth. You caught him with a lot of good punches, and that was the first fight I believe after after quarantine and lockdown and stuff. How was it like to be the first fight to air after all of that time?
I single-handedly restarted the world's economy. Span and I were, but I think I was in the octagon first. So yeah, we started the world's economy, he and I. In over 70 fights, that is the first time I've ever been in an opening fight on a card, and I'm glad it was that one. It's a very memorable fight.
Awesome, great to hear that. And like with the way that the UFC's been going, they've been cutting fighters left and right, especially Romero, where it's like he's arguably won his last four fights, and they were all like 5 round or four, 3 out of 4 are championship fights, I believe. But what do you have to say about all these fighters getting cuts, and what's your opinion on all of that?
It's nothing new. It happens every year, and every year everyone kind of reacts to it. But every year there's a big, cut in the UFC. They cut all weight classes, and the UFC they're as busy as they are. I mean, they have fights 48 out of 52 2 weeks of the year. Um,
hmm
they they have so many fighters, and they can't possibly use all of them. As many fights as they have, they can't use them all. So it does the fighters good sometimes to be released, where they couldn't get a fight otherwise, and now they can.
hmm And like with you, you've arguably won your last two. I believe you won your last two. But like many would consider you maybe on the short list of the chopping block.
Yeah.
Like what does your contract look like for the UFC right now?
I just signed a new contract before the second wave of fight cuts came around. So,
Oh, awesome.
yeah, if I didn't, I would have been nervous. I'd still be nervous. But I just signed a new contract with UFC, and I'm thrilled with it. I'm thrilled they kept it. They saw something in me that's worth the investment, and I'm gonna return. I'm gonna return fire. I'm gonna make sure their investment pays off for them. I'm gonna make them so much money in 2021.
Yeah, I bet. And I would hate to see you go because you're a fan favorite. I think over what like 20 UFC fights right now.
Mhm.
And you're still smiling, so that's a good sign. But which leads me to my next question. When will the fans see you back in the cage?
I'm not allowed to say yet, but something's coming up. Yeah, I'll tell. Actually, I tell everyone I'm going to tell TikTok first, but then Instagram will be second.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll make sure to download whatever TikTok, or I'll download TikTok just to hear that fight announcement, honestly. And you're like a role model to your kids. You have 5 kids, is that correct?
Yeah, there's one of them right there.
Awesome. Which one of your kids gives you the most trouble?
Which one is it? I've got two twins that are both 1.5 years old. So those two, I don't think I can separate those two, but those two are pain in the ass most of the time.
Gotcha. And like a lot of fighters, raising a family, it's really great for them. And you fight so that they don't have to, but when your kids grow up and they want to maybe venture into martial arts, what's your like opinion on maybe your children becoming fighters one day?
My kids will be able to beat up anyone on the planet that they want to, but I hope they're really good at baseball or football or even soccer. As much as I don't want to watch soccer, yeah, go to a sport that you can beat yourself up less for or less with, and get paid more for.
Gotcha. And how has your life as a father changed through this COVID age?
You know what? Nothing has really changed for me. I've got one child who's in second grade, and we've got her in a school that is still in person. I've got one child that's in kindergarten, and so we do like homeschooling with him. But I mean, it's kindergarten, so it's not a whole lot. And all my other kids are too young for school, so we just have a heck of a time every day. We go to the gym, we work out, we train together. So not a whole lot has changed for me.
Gotcha. And like you're gonna announce your next fight on TikTok, which I find hilarious. But would you rather go to Fire Island, like a vacation on Fire Island, or would you rather go to the UFC Apex in Las Vegas?
I've never really fought in Vegas before. On the Ultimate Fighter, I did, but there were no fans. So if I were to fight in Vegas again, there'd be no fans. So I don't know if I'd count it. I fought on Fight Island once, and it was a blast. I wouldn't mind going back.
Gotcha. And we have a big 3 Fire Island cards, coming up
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, Wednesday, and then Saturday again.
Mm-hmm.
What's your prediction? Like, first off, what's your prediction for Cater versus Holloway?
I think I'm going to go Holloway. Holloway's got such a fast pace, and he's such a big dude for his weight class. But he's got such an intense pace. It's hard to keep up with him.
Hmm. And then the next week we have, unfortunately, we're not going to see Hamza versus Leon Edwards, but we are going to see Chiesa versus Magny. What's your Mystic Mag prediction for how that fight goes?
That's a tough fight. I think I take Magny. Again, that pace he can set. He has such a fast tempo. He's got decent jiu-jitsu, decent wrestling defense, and he's got a tempo that it's hard to match.
Gotcha. And, last but not least, saving the best for last, actually, we have Connor versus Dustin. Who takes the rematch?
I've been torn. I think I'm leaning to Connor because I think Connor has more to gain. I think he's fighting for more. If Connor wins, he gets the next title shot. I think he's the next title shot if he wins. If Poirier wins, I don't think that gets him a title shot. So I think it gives Connor a lot more reason to win.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Dana's, like kind of banking on Connor to win? Because I've seen a lot of his interviews where it's like, he's saying what lies in Connor's future. But do you think he's kind of like secretly wants Connor to win this one?
Yeah. Connor's Connor prints money when he fights. So I could see everyone wants Connor to win. I'm a bigger Poirier fan. I do think Poirier is a better fighter, but Connor has proven me wrong like every time.
Gotcha. And like going into 2021, we're 14 days in. How have you been with your resolutions so far?
I'm doing great. Weight's coming down. I'm still healthy. Kids are getting smarter by the minute. So everything's going real well for me.
That's great to hear. And like I just wanted to know more about you. Like outside the cage. What are some of your hobbies that we might not know about on the side?
I grew up hunting and fishing. So I do that as much as I can. But here in Southern California, it's hard to do. It's expensive to do. I love playing Super Smash Bros. On my Switch. Like hanging out with my kids. I'm a family guy first. So I most everything I do with my family.
Hmm. And you said that you're a fisherman. Gregor Gillespie, he labels himself as the best fisherman in mixed martial arts. Do you think you could beat Gregor Gillespie at fishing?
You know what? At one point in my life, I could have. I don't know if it's now. Southern California is like a desert. It's so hard to fish here. Um, so he's probably got me beat right now. But when I move back to Tennessee or move to Tennessee, then I'm gonna get my fishing hooks sharpened.
Awesome. I think that's all the questions I had. We kept this short and simple. Really liked it. Thanks for the time today. Did you want to
Oh,
say anything to the fans out there watching?
hey, follow me on TikTok. I
Well,
love TikTok. I have so much fun on there. So follow me there. I do a lot here on Instagram. Hit me up if you ever want to talk, guys.
awesome. Thanks, Sam. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me on, sir.